Hey y'all, Chelsea and Danny here.
Enjoy this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube.
We're right in the middle of what will be a great looking kitchen.
Today's Homeowner with Danny Lipford. Real projects for real homeowners with real solutions. Information and inspiration on improving your home from professional remodeler Danny Lipford.
Welcome to the show this week. Now, it may look like a bomb's gone off in this room, but just a few days ago, we had a functioning kitchen here, but one that was very out of date, over 30 years old. Plastic laminate countertops, brush-painted cabinets that really didn't look very good, and a dark ceramic floor. Well, the homeowners have had enough, and we're making some big changes. We're raising the ceiling, we're putting in a really nice set of cabinets, and we're changing the ceramic floor to a much bigger and nicer floor. Also, we've removed the wall between the kitchen and the old dining room to incorporate this area in as an eating area. Now you're going to see all this come together in this week's show. Welcome back to the show. Now, any successful kitchen renovation starts with a well thought out design, and the homeowners worked with a certified kitchen designer that really came up with some great ideas. One of the first things they did is minimize the amount of work we're going to have to do because many of the appliances and fixtures are in the exact same spot as they were before. Good example here where George is framing up around some of our plumbing. This is where the old sink was. This is where it'll go back. So that should work out nice, and it'll look a lot like this with the base cabinet, the dishwasher, and some overhead cabinets here with glass doors so that you'll be able to see right on through to the new breakfast room. Now over on this long wall that's over 14 feet long, we will have cooktop in the middle and a really nice custom hood right above it there. That really should look nice. Now over on this wall, they've located the refrigerator on the one side, which is really convenient because we have the doorway right beside it that leads out into the hallway. And next to that are double ovens, plenty of cabinetry, and a unique microwave right in a corner cabinet. So that should look real nice once that's complete. Now with a large kitchen like this, it's always nice to have an island in the middle for preparation of foods and so forth. And the original kitchen had an island here that had the cooktop and stove combination right in it. So it took up a lot of room. The homeowners decided to relocate it to the back wall. So the electricians who are out on the job now will be eliminating this wire and providing the wire for the new unit there on the back wall. Now, the homeowners wanted this to feel a lot larger than it was before, but there's no inexpensive way of adding to this room on either internally or externally, so we decided to make it look a lot larger by the creation of the recessed or pocket ceiling. Now, we did this by cutting off the ceiling joist that we had before and installing 2x12 sandwich beams that have a piece of plywood right between it, and you can see how it creates the pocket all the way around this room, raising it up a little more than 12 inches. Now this is a good way to handle something like this, particularly when you have roof rafters that are coming down very close into the room that would prevent us from raising the entire ceiling. But by bringing it in 3 or 4 feet around the perimeter of the room, we had plenty of room to raise it up, even though we had to do a little notching here and there. Now we're doing the same thing with the ceiling that in the dining area or in the breakfast area, raising it up, and that enables us to carry the back wall up to a 10-foot level. With the framing complete, the electricians have the daunting task of sorting through all the spaghetti of wires running through the attic to eliminate what isn't needed and preserve what is. The wiring that stays will be rerouted to power the new kitchen fixtures like these recessed lighting cans and the ventilation system for the new stove hood. Now, this one is unique because the fan motor is actually mounted on the roof so that the noise stays out of the kitchen. Now next, insulation fills all the cavities above and around the kitchen. Now, only a couple of these walls are exterior walls, but the added insulation in the walls will reduce noise transfer from the kitchen to the rest of the house. Now, drywall follows the insulation and really begins to define our kitchen space. Now, our drywall finisher supervises the installation of all of the drywall to make sure we're getting a good tight fit. And as soon as it's in, he begins taping the joints to give the walls and the ceiling a seamless, smooth surface. Now that's where we are now. All the drywall is complete, and we're in the process of installing a lot of the trim around the doors and the windows. Now that means the cabinets will be here soon. But before we show you them, we'd like to talk to the homeowner who's made all the decisions in this kitchen renovation right after our simple solution. She'll tell us about her old kitchen, her new kitchen, and the transition that's taking place.
Get ready to review your fix-it list as Danny and home repair expert Joe Trowini show you this week's simple solution. Brought to you by DuPont Tyvek. Build it once, build it right.
Anytime you have a project around the home that requires a radius to be cut in any kind of plywood, you're going to end up using a jigsaw.
Well, jigsaw is great for cutting circles, but if you cut it freehand, it's very hard to do it accurately. So here I've made a circle cutting jig that I attached to the jigsaw, so you can cut any radius or circles almost perfectly. Now what I did is I took a piece of 1/8 inch hardboard and I laid the saw on the masonite and I traced around the shoe of it with a pencil. Then I used a framing square to trace this beam, which is this straight arm that comes out. Then I used the jigsaw itself just to cut out the jig, and I attach it to the bottom with 2 small machine screws.
So anyway, when you're cutting the radius then, you're just measuring from the blade and then drilling a hole for half the diameter of the circle.
Right, this will be the pivot point. In this
Okay.
case it's 12 inches because we have a
Okay.
24-inch piece of wood here we're going to cut a half circle in.
Okay.
So all you need to do is set it in place and screw down the pivot point. In fact, if you want to put that screw in there for me.
Okay.
Okay, that's good enough. Okay, now stand back and watch. This will cut right along. All I have to do is keep this nice and flat.
Closed captioning for today's Homeowner with Danny Lipford, provided by Delta Faucet Company. Delta, beautifully engineered.
It'll be nice having that fan noise up in the attic like that.
Oh, definitely.
I'm with homeowner Peggy Salisbury, who's made a lot of decisions to get us to this point in this kitchen renovation. Now, what really motivated this? Why did you really want to endure something like this?
Well, our kitchen just really needed updating. We had old appliances. We had not really done any remodeling on this part of the house, and this is where we spend all our time. So we really wanted it to be new, updated, and more comfortable.
Okay, now what are some of the things you're looking forward to? Because I know you spent a lot of time with our cabinet man getting everything just right. So what are some of the things you're really anxious to see?
Well, I'm real excited about the cabinets. They're really looking pretty, and I'm real excited about the island. It's going to have some furniture legs to it. It's going to be, you know, a pretty stained piece of furniture.
Well, that's a strong trend. We're seeing a lot of people really wanting their kitchen to be a little upgrade in terms of really looking like furniture.
Right, and some glass front cabinets over here with a nice archway over the sink so that it really opens this room into the dining room.
Okay, all right. Now, I know that your main eating area will be there, but it used to be over here, so how do you really plan on using this end of the room?
Well, I want to put some club chairs over there, some comfortable chairs that we can sit in and have coffee or read the paper, you know, just when Charles comes home from work, spend a little time in here with me while I'm cooking.
That's great. That's a good idea. And maybe switch off every now and then and you read
Let
a little
him
bit.
cook while I read.
Perfect. That's perfect. Well, now, how has it been? How are you holding up? You had to deal with a lot of dust, but you've been through renovations before, so you kind of knew what to expect.
I did, and I really planned in advance how I could set up a little temporary kitchen in our bar area, and it's worked out well. I have a tiny little sink, but you know, with a good attitude and knowing it's only going to last 6 or 8 weeks, you can get through.
Well, the attitude's half the battle, isn't it?
That's right.
Well, that's great. Well, it won't be long because we have a little more trim work to do in this area, and then we'll be ready for those cabinets to arrive. We're putting in the base and the crown molding only in the areas where the cabinets are not going. So we're concentrating on areas like the recess of the pocket ceiling, which is wrapped with this 5.5-inch crown molding. Now the room seems enormous when it's empty, but when the cabinets arrive, it starts filling up. The individual units are carefully lined up and set in place according to the cabinet man's plan before they're attached to each other and the walls. The cutouts for the electrical and plumbing fixtures are done here on site to ensure an exact fit. The installers also fine-tune the door and drawer hardware once the cabinets are in place. With our cabinets in place, our tile setter could go to work on the installation of the 18-inch ceramic tile floor. Now, most of the cabinets are in place with the exception of our large island cabinet that we'll be installing later. Now, Peggy talked earlier about how this island cabinet would have furniture legs, so we wanted to make sure the ceramic tile continued all the way under that cabinet before we did the installation of that. Now, once it is installed, then we can concentrate on all of the countertops. Now, over the years, there were several layers of flooring in this kitchen area that had to be removed. So we started with a quarry tile layer, which was fairly easy to remove, but the last layer was a vinyl floor that was very stubborn. We went out and rented, for about $50 a day, a power scraper that really helped to expedite that part of the job. Without it, it would have taken days of hard labor in order to get the smooth surface we needed. Now, after all of that was removed, our flooring contractor was out a little earlier to put down some floor compound, leveling compound between this room and that room so that we have a nice transition. Then he was able to start the installation of the tile. Now, he's laying all of this tile on a 45-degree angle, which is a great design element in any room of the house, but it is a little more expensive, both because of extra materials that are needed, as well as a lot of extra cutting that's necessary for this type of floor. But it's going to look great, and you know, I love kitchen remodeling projects like this and can't wait to see it complete, and you'll see it complete before the end of this show. Next, our best new product.
Now let's join Danny at the Home Center to check out the best new products. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
There are so many lighting options for the home, and track lighting like this has been around for many, many years. But in the past, all that's been available are just straight runs of the track lighting itself. Now, things have gotten a little more flexible with the Flex Light from Easy Light. Now, this 5-light kit is available for the do-it-yourselfer and costs around $150 and has everything you need to create this unique look on your ceiling. Now, basically in the kit, you start out with a transformer that will convert your standard house electricity down to 12 volts. So it's also called a low voltage system. So this is mounted in the location of an existing light fixture. After that, you take your flex track that will feed right through the side of this, energizing the whole track. Then, to accommodate your other lights, you come in with a unique mounting system that they have that you remove with an Allen wrench, and you take the little escutcheon off and you can see the hole in it, and this attaches to the ceiling to create the pattern that you want with your lights. Then this is reinstalled and your flex track runs right through the end of this. Now, once you have all of that in position, then you can take your lights, which you have 5 of these in the kit with the halogen bulbs, and feed it through the flex wrap as well, and then you can have a look just like this, and as I mentioned earlier, it's only $150. Now, this is really starting to look like a kitchen, and you can see the overall positive effect that our 45-degree laying of the tile has. It really makes a big difference and makes the room really seem a little bit larger than it actually is. Now, after all of the flooring was completed and dried, our cabinet man was back out with our island cabinet. And he ended up actually building a little toe kick platform to position the island on that'll really support it well and give it that nice effect that it has along the bottom there. Now, after he was complete with all of his work, our granite installers were out to install our Baltic brown granite, both here on the island and all the way around our kitchen, including our overhang that'll serve as a little eating area out in the breakfast room. Now, also over the last few days, a lot of the appliances have been installed, and many of these appliances are really built in. Both our oven as well as our refrigerator has that nice built-in look that so many people want in their kitchen. Now, this is the point in a kitchen that you have to be very careful, because a lot of damage can occur when you're installing heavy fixtures and heavy appliances like that, so you need to really be careful with that. Now, Peggy, our homeowner that we spoke with earlier, did a great job in putting together all the different colors and surfaces and textures and really making them look good together. One of the things that she did, and I would certainly recommend it to you if you're remodeling your kitchen, is not to just settle for the little bitty samples of wallpaper or paint or flooring. Get a larger sample and actually bring it out to the job site and put a big piece of granite next to a piece of cabinetry with your flooring to make sure they will look good together in the type of lighting and exposure of natural light that you'll have in the particular room that you're remodeling. It really makes a difference, because if you ever looked at a small piece of wallpaper and thought that you really liked the colors in it, and then you end up seeing it in a larger roll, you realize sometimes it can get real busy real quick. Now, earlier today, we spoke with Peggy, the homeowner, to see how she's holding up on this kitchen renovation. Well, Peggy, we have a few more things to do in here before everything's complete, but it's getting close.
It is getting close. Yeah, we need to get the cabinet front on the dishwasher. We need to install the trash compactor back there, but we're getting real close.
Well, I also understand we have a back order. Seems like on all kitchens you have at least one back order, so
Yeah.
you're using a temporary microwave now until the other one comes in.
Right, and we'll just do with that until the new one comes in.
Well, you picked out a lot of different surfaces in here, and they really go together well. But I really love the backsplash. A lot of detail, nice little focal point right in the middle here.
Thanks, I like it too.
Yeah, it turned out really good, and the workmanship seems to work out well, because there's a lot of cutting when you get into something like that.
Oh, a lot of details, that's right.
Now, when I heard that you had selected stained for your island and then the rest of the kitchen being painted, I was a little skeptical, but it seemed like the granite kind of tied it together pretty well.
Well, I had a problem in keeping the kitchen light, so I really felt like I needed to use light wood. But I liked the stain because I felt like it warmed things up, and I think the granite kind of combined the two together.
Yeah, it really does. It looks great, and I know this will be functional, being the size that it is with all the drawers that you have and all of that. But let me put you on the spot a little bit. Anything that you would do different in terms of the overall design?
Not really. I love it all. I planned for a long time, choosing what would work for us, researching appliances, looking at granites, and so I really do like everything, and I love the way it all looks.
Oh, that's great. Well, I know that you've been under a little pressure because you have a big holiday weekend coming up, a lot of family coming over. We have a couple more days before that time. We'll be able to get everything complete for you.
We're going to squeak it in. I think that it's going to happen.
And like you said earlier in the show, attitude's a big part of it, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm trying to keep that positive attitude.
Well, great. Well, it does look good, and you'll be able to see everything after Peggy's moved in, right after our Around the Yard segment.
Now let's go outside for Around the Yard with Danny and lawn and garden expert Tricia Craven-Worley. Brought to you by TimberTech Composite Decking. Less work, more life.
Tricia, I love brick patios, but it seems like homeowners are always battling all these weeds that pop their way up.
Yeah, and for people who have concrete walkways, because of settling sometimes, we get cracks too.
But, you know, there's plenty of weed killers out there that you can spray on, but I've heard so many homeowners having problems with killing some of the adjacent shrubs that aren't a good idea.
Well, it isn't a good idea, and I've heard some people even use gasoline to try to get rid of the weeds that grow in the cracks.
Yeah, that's dangerous, and I've heard that it'll actually stain some of the masonry surfaces.
It can stain. And one other thing, you know, sometimes people try to use screwdrivers and spackle knives and all of that, and sometimes even their fingers, and that just really isn't very effective.
No, that's no fun.
I find that vinegar, common household vinegar, really works.
Now, do you add water to it, or?
No, this is just regular vinegar, regular white vinegar that you buy in the store, and you don't dilute it. Now, by not diluting it, because of the acidity that's in the vinegar combined with the sun, it burns it eventually.
Oh, okay. How many times do you have to apply it to really be effective in killing the weeds?
I find that if you leave the vinegar solution on there for about 2 hours, it should actually you should start seeing some wilting. Now, if it rains, you have some downpour, if you're lucky enough, you're going to have to reapply it. Some plants are going to be a little bit more stubborn, and I also understand it doesn't really work well on English ivy.
This kitchen really turned out great. Peggy made some wonderful selections that really work together very well. The off-white cabinets around the perimeter help keep the space nice and bright, while the furniture-style stained island gives the room some weight and warmth. The granite countertops and the ceramic tile tie the whole package together. And Peggy's new sitting area within the kitchen turned out beautifully. The chairs were a great idea. Making the right choices in a timely fashion and careful planning are two of the reasons this renovation was so successful. Keep that in mind on your next remodeling project. Hey, thanks for watching this week. I'm Danny Lipford.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to comment, like, and hit the bell icon so that we can notify you when new videos are posted.
And don't go anywhere, click around and continue the home improving fun.